Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 22 of X-Men, written by Jerry Duggan. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. This issue opens near the treehouse, the home of the X-Men, on a regular and sunny day, for the beautiful headquarters is the result of a merging of mutant technology with our natural environment. So with that said, Krakoa may be for mutants, but Seneca Gardens is for everyone, and most days, the park is crowded with New Yorkers and tourists hoping to enjoy a quiet moment away from the din of the city, as well as a perfect place to make new friends and have a small conversation with like-minded people, for on the park bench under an umbrella sat a woman alone just admiring the beautiful day, as an older woman approached her. Now upon sitting down, we discover that this older woman is none other than Opal Vetiver, a member of Horde culture that first appeared back in issue number 3 of the X-Men. And by the sounds of it, she wasn't too happy to be there, given her history with the X-Men team. For she questions the mysterious woman's abilities to hack her DMs. And at that moment, said lady introduced herself as Karima Shapander, or better known as Omega Sentinel. Now this right here is a big deal, for the last time she played a part in a story was back in the Inferno event, so with her reemergence we as the reader should be in for a big treat. For she states to Opal that she visits this park often to take in the beauty despite hating everything about it. For the tree reminds her that the mutants are an invasive species, and if it is left unchecked, she was positive that these lovely trees would grow all over the world. Which would be a huge problem, for the fruits these trees bears are the mutants that plague the world. So with that speech given, Omega cuts to the point and states that she hoped that their relationship would be based on an ideological accord, but due to Opal's unwillingness to turn over the data needed, she understands their relationship could only be transactional. So with pleasantries cast aside, Omega decided to speak bluntly, by saying that she can smell the Krakoan medicine in her, particularly the drug for her mind. Which in her words is a big mistake. But see, one thing we have to know about Opal was that she was losing herself every day due to lapses in memory, but with the help of the drug she was able to reclaim her mind again. But with Omega's ominous warning, Opal decided to hand over the data requested, which so happened to be all their research on the Krakoan's gates. So with the data now in Omega's possession, she lets Opal in on a secret, which was that the mutants put a Trojan horse into their medicines, and because of that she should only stick to the completely organic Krakoan flowers for her doses. So with that said, Omega leave the park with the data required to hit Krakoa at its home. So on the following page, late that night across town from the treehouse, the bounty of Krakoa is a part of the nightly ritual of an aging human population. The drugs of the mind can cause drowsiness, so naturally, it is best to be taken before bed. Karima Shapander was telling the truth about the drugs, for they have been secretly subverted, but she lied about the perpetrators. For the people who were tempered with the Krakoan's medicines were none other than Orcus. Because on board a single craft, we see some of Orcus' heavy hitters running their final test above the city. Now this test required a frequency that is above what a normal person could hear, but just because they can't hear it doesn't mean it doesn't have an effect on the individual. For upon turning the knob, an elderly man suddenly awoke. Now he was completely normal until the drugs in his system encountered Orcus's special broadcasts, which targeted his fight-or-flight response and kicked it into overdrive. So in a gruesome display of carnal instinct, we see an elder individual bash his head into a glass window until eventually he was able to break through and cast himself to the ground below. So as he falls, MODOK laughs in victory as the man splats on the ground below. And according to this sick individual, this was just the tip of what they can pull off, for this was a localized broadcast targeting this single person. So with the sky's the limit, Dr. Stasis goes on to ask how many humans are estimated to have taken the Krakoan drugs with the Trojan. And to the viewer's horror, we discover that the numbers are in the millions around the world. So with this kill switch in hand, Orcus now have the ability to frame the mutants for millions of future deaths. So following this horrific display, we skip over to Chicago. Now as we seen, Orcus had already executed an attack on Krakoa's gift to humanity. The medicines were a soft power for mutants to win the hearts and minds of those who hated and feared them. But at the same time, Dr. Stasis rolled out his own gift to humanity, which was the suppression and eradication of the X gene. Because every day across the country, those looking just to be normal were offered the chance at pop-up clinics like this one. But little do these individuals know, these clinics aren't what they think they are, for once they enter, there is no turning back. So as the man attempted to escape, the Orcus members caught him before he could make it far. But lucky for him, there are someone always in their corner, for Cyclops, Firestar, and Forge arrived on the scene. And as they reached out for the kid, in an attempt to help, one of the hooded individuals pulled him away by force, so with the boy's life on the line, Cyclops laid a firm haymaker on the mysterious hooded man. But to his surprise, it had no effect at all, so in a counter-punch, Cyclops was sent flying back on his ass. So with the fight starting up, Forge immediately spits out a special custom gum at the doctor holding the gun, taking him out of the fight. But just like Cyclops, the same mysterious hooded man proceeded to clothesline Forge as it yelled, "Death to the X-Men." So with Firestar as the last one standing, Cyclops proceeded to inform her that this hooded man isn't a man at all but rather a machine, so with no reason to hold back, Firestar let out a scorching blaze, but to her surprise the machine was unharmed. For Sentinel Zero was online, with the direction to protect all Orcus personnel. And with blinding speed, Sentinel revealed claws similar to Wolverine and slash at Firestar, cutting her shirt, nearly causing a fatal blow. So with things getting real, both Cyclops and Forge let loose on the mechanical monster, and while the fight dragged on, Forge was able to uncover several truths. One of which was that this Sentinel was built upon a dead Wolverine chassis. But with that said, Forge was caught off guard as the Sentinel in question proceeded to cut off his robotic leg, dropping him to the floor. So in a savage attack, Cyclops picked up Forge's leg and started to swing it like a bat, knocking the Sentinel back. But due to Wolverine chassis being made from adamantium, the robot just kept coming, until Firestar turned up the heat, unleashing a supernova. For Firestar let loose with her microwave powers and unleashes a blast of heat that was felt for blocks. It was so strong that from space, the light emitted by Firestar's counterattack is momentarily confused for a nuclear bomb by NORAD. So with that said, Firestar was willing to bet her life that her power would disable the Sentinel before she got another taste of the unbreakable adamantium claws. And just as she thought, she was able to pull it off and burned off every bit of wiring for the skeleton, leaving it clean to the bone. So with the battle over, the team took Wolverine's remains and proceeded to return back home. So with that said and done, we transition over to the treehouse, where things have been a little tense as of late. Because following the Revenge of the Brood event, Cyclops and Jean Grey have hit a rough patch which unfortunately made Brood the unlikely wedge between them. So because of that, the rest of the team has been giving them their space. All except for Forge, for he requested to see Scott Summers, because he had an idea to help win over the hearts and minds of the people, and all he would need is two things: A stage at the next Hellfire Gala, and B, all of Wolverine's metal bones. So with that said, we skip over to Orcus, where we discover that Orcus has managed to collect more Wolverine skeletons, but this time they were planning on adding human flesh to it. So with that said, issue number 22 of X-Men comes to an end. So down in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this issue and what predictions you could have moving forward. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.